All right, everybody, welcome to the July 26th public meeting of the Azure Special Interest Group. My name is Jay Singer-Dumars. I am one of the co-leads for this group, and I work for Microsoft. And today we've got a really cool demo. It'll be a short demo from Khaled Hindiak from Microsoft, and he will be showing us the prototype for the Azure Key Vault integration that we're going to be working on and targeting for full integration within the 1.10 release timeframe. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Cal.
Oh, hey, let me just share my screen. Right, let me know when you see my screen.
We've got it. It's a little bit small, so if you can increase your font size a few, that would be great.
How's that?
Looks good to me.
All right, so what I have is code we've built actually a few months back to allow customers to use secrets beyond what Kubernetes offered back then and offered now. The idea is Keyvolt, Azure Key Vault is one of those services where people can save type secrets. That includes secrets, keys, and certificates, auto-rotate them, and it also supports hardware, HSMs, and so forth. The secrets that when we talked with some of the customers who are either using Kubernetes or planning to use, one of the key issues has been secrets in Kubernetes and the fact that up until 1.7.2, I guess, they were clear text saved in etcd, and that did not allow them to use them. Although they really, really love how easy they are to use inside their apps, but they cannot use them because of the fact that they are saved as clear text. Right now, there is, when we wrote this code, the KMS integration that Kubernetes has was not out, so I'm just gonna walk you through what we have right now and walk you through how we're planning to move this forward. So what I have is, that's kubectl alias. Is a cluster. Okay, it's 9 or 10 nodes, I don't even remember. What I have done is a volume that's not doing anything other than bringing secrets from Keyvolt, Azure Key Vault. So if I go here and say so what we had in mind is users going through just containers. They define a pod, and this is just a busy box doing a loop. All right, and then they can do regular volume mounts. The secret sauce is actually here, where they can say, all right, I have 3 volumes, give it a name, give it a type, which is in this case Azure Key Vault, and then they can point to a vault. This is an actual Azure Key Vault, and they can say the object they want to bring in. In this case, it's a type secret, and it has a nest 0 as a name inside Key Vault. The same can apply for keys, object kind key, and then you can also have a certificate. Okay. What users will do is they can just create it, and it doesn't take much, as you can see. It's just 3 seconds to mount everything. And then if I do kc exec attach to this guy and just go bin sh. Now I'm inside this container. What you will see is, if you remember, everything was mounted /mnt. So if I go mnt and I go, this is my volumes basically. These are 3 volumes, and I can go cd secret, and I do, everything is a file named as the object, and this is my secret. Same applies on the key as well. And that's my key. All of these objects are actually from Keyvolt. I don't need to go through the certificate, but it's there. The code is actually on my public repository on GitHub. However, based on the changes that's happening right now and moving on 1.8, 1.9, and 1.10, the idea is, for now, what we will do is we will integrate with KMS allow like encrypting secrets inside etcd itself, and also allow users not using volumes to use init containers or possibly something else, something that doesn't touch on the upstream, where users can run a container to bring these secrets to their applications. One of the things that this volume is doing, and one of the things that we're also planning to do, is once the pod is removed, everything is removed from the node, because you really don't want to keep secrets on the node while nobody's using them. Planning on going through 1.9 and 1.10, what we will do is we'll also support the ability to proxy secrets outside etcd into Keyvolt. So the secrets that you're currently using and love in Kubernetes, you will be able to keep using them. However, these secrets in 1.10 will not gonna be saved in etcd itself. It's going to be saved in Azure Key Vault. And ACS, or Azure Container Services, will take care of provisioning the Key Vault for you, the secrets you need, and all of that stuff. And that's my 4 minutes demo.
Great, that is fantastic. Do we have any questions out there on this?
Yeah, I have a question. This is Luis from CoreOS. Hi.
Hey.
My question is that I like the simplicity. I like the usability of this, and it seems to be very well implemented and integrated with Kubernetes. My question is around not really the technology around this, but the integration with the rest of the ecosystem of Kubernetes. So if for example, we have an Azure specific way of storing secrets, how are we going to manage this across like AWS, OpenStack, on-premise, and the other models that we have of deploying? So I definitely like it. I just want to see a way that we can not expose this all the way up to the consumer. For example, in storage, we have PVs and PVCs, right?
Yeah.
It's an abstraction of the internals through storage classes and things like that. So I was wondering if there's I would like to see this, but I would like to see it in a way that the user doesn't see the exact every dial to get this going. That's my only question. I was wondering if you had an idea, or if anybody has an idea of how this can be integrated.
So to answer this, it's twofold. The first fold is I absolutely agree with you. There has to be a way where users don't need to get entangled with the cloud details. And right now it's secrets. And by 1.10, you will be able to do exactly what you're saying. You can use secrets, and the cloud provider will be configured to store them outside etcd. Okay, so that's
awesome.
That's gonna happen in 1.10. The second fold to that is, let's face it, every cloud has its own thing, right? That's how we improve. We work on our stuff. The folks from AWS and GCP works on their own stuff. They create something better, we create something better, and we keep competing until the consumer is happy. Basically, this is a good outcome for everybody. There has to be a way moving forward, like to get this unique features from a cloud into Kubernetes in a way that only the users who are interested in Azure, for example, can use it, or the users who are interested in AWS can use it. And that's not something that can be, that should not be in upstream, if you know what I mean. It shouldn't be the code for upstream containing that. That should be something, some tooling around. Think of Azure as a part of the ecosystem. Think of Azure as a CoreOS company that basically builds stuff that allows it to work only on Azure. And that part, for regards to secrets, on 1.10 we'll have to wait until 1.10 is out, which is, I'm thinking, 6 months out now, until we see this happening, and then we can say, all right, the secrets, the way they are and the way they are going into 1.10 and beyond, will cover 60% of what Keyvolt can do. Do we want people to use the 40% without having to code against them, or not? And that's not a decision I can make right now, to tell you the truth, and nobody can. We have to wait until 1.10. But for now, between 1.8 and 1.10, if somebody wants to use HSM, hardware HSMs, for auto-rotated certificates on Azure. You're already paying for it somehow. We should be able to allow them to use it basically without impacting everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. So at least there's a plan. That's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a plan.
I like to say there is a method to the madness.
Yeah.
That we have. We do have a method to approaching this, and we're revisiting every action we're making as we go with you guys. Like, we're not doing this alone.
Sure. Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Again, Cal, thank you for the great demo. Moving along, if you follow along in the agenda, which you can get at bit.ly/sig-azure, you can see what I will be referring to now, which is work in progress. There's a pull request out there for adding an option for VNet resource group in Azure configuration. It looks like it needs a rebase. And this work that Cal is going to be doing on the Azure Key Vault integration moving forward, we're defining that work. And we're also, from an Azure implementation standpoint, working on getting the great work that was done with managed disks into Azure Container Service, and that work will be rolling out in the near-ish future. I'll probably update everybody once that's happening, but again, that has some really nice improvements in terms of Azure disks. PRs needing review. There are a couple of cherry picks for the work that was done for MSI, which is the managed service identity. And these should be pulled into 1.73 or 1.7.4, depending on timing. We're probably going to get somebody to do that internally at Microsoft, but if somebody's feeling adventurous and wants to start those cherry picks, go for it. It would certainly be helpful to have those done sooner than later. There's a couple of pull requests here. Not really sure on status on these. Looks like, Luis, you have a pull request here, 46442. Do you want to bring that up?
Yeah, this is actually Rob's Rati's online pull request about nodes going away and when they go into stop mode. So I just wanted to bring it up because there's already a discussion or a PR for discussing this in the AWS specifically, where we have a new state called stopped. And I just wanted to bring it up to the SIG Azure to see if we have the same issue, and what do you guys feel about a stopped state for a node.
So,
actually, wasn't that it was a proposal, right? We didn't. I don't know that it was signed off on. It was something that was an idea. Yeah. Okay.
It's a talk discussion. Yeah. It says. What do you guys feel about this kind of feel?
I'd have to review the PR to really understand what the notion of what a stopped node means. I mean, obviously in Azure we can stop a node and it's still affiliated with a cluster. In fact, I believe it even still is counted as a billable instance at that point. So it's definitely, if you stop an instance and restart it, it comes back as it was in the prior role. Versus like in AWS, if you stop an instance, it actually it basically comes back with all new information, which is kind of disruptive to clusters. So the Azure implementation of the stopped instance or stopped VM doesn't have the same disruptive quality in a Kubernetes cluster as it does in AWS. So I'll have to assess this, but I don't know that this is really an issue in Azure.
Yeah, it's not about really being an issue. Just want again to kind of going with the same theme that I was discussing on secrets just a few seconds ago. It's just making sure that across the board, we have the same behavior.
That it's a can of worms. That top node stuff is a can of worms and really need to be carefully discussed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I doubt that we can do this in 10 minutes, especially when we have some folks who didn't read the PR. I know the PR you're referring to.
Yeah.
And I know the shape of Strasus that Tim is referring to. So it's a can of worms, but I completely agree with you. It needs to be on our radar. just to confirm Jace's view, I think Jace has a spot on view of how this will work on Azure, but we need to like come to a conclusion, all of us, that yes, it's not impacting us.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what I'm looking for. I'm bringing it up too so that everybody can see it. That's
no, that's great. This is exactly what we need to do. Is because
so AWS. Sorry, just to be clear, AWS was talking about adding that because they have, as you said, right, different issues, but they also handle stop nodes differently.
Totally differently. That's correct.
They're in Kubernetes. Their interface with Kubernetes is filtering out any node that's not active. So when a node gets stopped in AWS, it disappears from Kubernetes.
Right.
And that's not happening in Azure. Now, whether or not that should happen in Azure is, that kind of something that we keep talking about, needing the cloud provider type of a SIG to decide how that kind of a situation should happen. But if it decided that a stop node should not disappear from Kubernetes, and Azure wouldn't need necessarily to have a stopped state.
Right. No, this is a fantastic discussion, and as Kyle so very eloquently said, it is a can of worms. So I will keep my eye on this PR, and I would encourage everybody else here to do that as well. So we'll just stay on top of that.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, moving on to release updates. 1.8 release team is formed mostly. There's an asterisk, and that's because we have not necessarily 100% finalized the release notes coordinator. We're talking to Jennifer, who's the docs coordinator at Heptio, as possibly doing that. So there's a pretty good chance that'll be done soon. The schedule is set. Most importantly, the immediate thing to keep on the radar is the feature freeze, which is a week from yesterday on August 1st. And what feature freeze means is that there needs to be the documentation sufficient to describe the feature from a high-level marketing perspective in the issues of the features repo, so Kubernetes/features. And what that does is that helps get the marketing teed up and a lot of other things for the release to make sure release notes are done and whatnot. So,
does this mean we need to have the Keyvolt KMS integration as part of these features?
That is correct, and I will be personally working on that particular release.
All right.
And I'll actually coordinate with you on that, Cal, to make sure that we get the right descriptions in.
All right. Thank you.
And there's no ETA that I'm aware of on 173. 172 went out with some great code in it, the Azure specific code around the SDK upgrades and managed disks. Again, as I mentioned before, we're going to try and roll this out into ACS in an orderly fashion to see what that looks like. I'm going to be doing some testing this week to look at Azure disk mount times with the new version and see if we can net some faster disk mounting, especially when you have a workload that has to move off of a failed node to another node where it's remounting the same Azure disk. So that will be exciting to see all that come to fruition. And there's been a huge group effort on that, and I want to thank everybody that's been involved with that. Any questions on that stuff? Great. Announcements. etcd2 support deprecation is being proposed. Doesn't necessarily have a strong impact for us, but it's something that we want to keep an eye on, especially for legacy clusters and the upgrade path and all that stuff. So it's just one of those to be aware of things. Right now, the proposal has not been ratified or approved, but that's something that I believe will get some attention. And the corollary discussion around this is simply what versions are officially supported by the project. Obviously, there's version skew support for 2 versions, but what does the actual mechanics look like around supporting, say, an upgrade from 1.4 to 1.7? And is that even a supported upgrade path, even if it's possible? So this is something that probably will get escalated to the steering committee because it is a fairly wide impacting decision about how many versions we support. When push comes to shove, ultimately this decision comes down to who's supported in the release teams, because right now if there's no patch manager for 1.5, then ostensibly cherry picks back to 1.5 are not possible at the moment. So it's complicated and just something for everybody here to kind of stay aware of. the SIG Azure Slack channel, I would love to see more involvement from everybody here, and just generally speaking, there's an amazing amount of good questions and concerns that are coming up in that Slack channel, and it's definitely a lot of operational concerns and interests. So if you feel inclined to respond to some of those things, that would be super, super great. And yes, Cal, if you go to Kubernetes Slack, you can pull that up. And this is the link to it right here.
Hey, one more Slack channel to keep track of. Hooray!
Yeah, you know, you can't have enough. So there's that. And some really exciting news coming out of MS Central today. We have launched Azure Container Instances, which is a really revolutionary way to think about container workloads and running container workloads in a cloud environment. I would encourage everybody to look at that link and read the release on it. And there's two corollaries to that. One is that Microsoft is joining the CNCF, which is, I think, a fantastic step forward for our integration and support of all the great projects that are under the CNCF umbrella. Kubernetes, of course, being the one we're talking about today, but there's a lot of other great things there too. And this repo that's linked in there, the Azure/ACI-connector-K8s, is so cool. The demo that's in the release on the ACI stuff is actually leveraging the ACI connector, and it is so amazingly cool. So check that out, and it's going to blow your mind. And last, there was a report in the Azure channel this morning regarding a change somewhere in Azure's SDK or something. I haven't fully investigated, but some API has been deprecated that is currently badly impacting Terraform installations, the CoreOS Tectonic installations, and whatnot. There's a link to the issue in the notes, and I would encourage everybody to take a look at that, and let's see if we can figure out how to get that taken care of. So any other items that anybody has to announce before we adjourn? All right.
One quick thing. Oh, sorry. One quick thing. I was fumbling through the mute. I have a PR out that finishes up the instance metadata service support that I'd love somebody to take a look at if they have a chance.
What is that PR number, my friend?
Yeah, like I remember that sort of thing. I can find it and paste it in. I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. And then I'll put it in the Slack channel as well, so we get a link.
All right, cool, thanks. And I believe the instance metadata support was broken at head, but I think the fix is merged in. So that's just if someone has tried it, that's why.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Without any other objections, I think we'll go ahead and adjourn. And I again appreciate everybody for showing up, and thanks for your valuable time.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks all.